I mean, not really. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
1 can of worms, please.
Strike it up, Tish.
Fucking, don't even. I'm getting heated. I know, I can see it. All right, stoners, this is one of my longtime friends, Brittney Kelley. Welcome to Sorry We're Stoned. Have you been on Sorry We're Stoned, the audio version?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought so.
Well, we were on video because I remember. Yeah, I remember like pulling up my chair and getting my little joint ready, and I like set my camera up.
Yeah, like Zoom vibes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do remember this.
We did, yeah. But we had to have you back now that we have like the full legit production.
Yes, I'm so honored. So excited.
I'm like trying to think about how to intro you to the stoners. You're just such an incredible person. You really, truly are. I feel like we can tell the little cute story about how we met, but I really feel like you and I are just like soul sisters.
I really do feel that.
You know?
Hello.
What
about me?
Well, you're the
soul
mom
mother?
of the soul
That's
sister.
okay.
Yeah, the soul mother.
Don't be leaving me out.
I really do. But I guess like I'll kick it off with Brittney is the creator of this incredible clothing line that we are all wearing.
The dress.
We got the exclusive, the new line, not out yet, no biggie. It's called Tribe Kelley, and we'll talk more about it because I definitely would want you to tell the stoners a lot about, you know, the sustainability of the brand and how it's made, because I know you're so passionate about that. But Brittney, honestly, like just one of the most creative people I know, and you're just such an incredible human, animal lover, horse whisperer, even though she wouldn't admit it. And you just kind of feel like you're part of the family, honestly.
Well, honestly, I feel a part of the family because y'all had me over last night, and like I just feel super. I mean, y'all are amazing people. My husband and I always say that, like from the moment we met y'all. I mean, we've known each other for a while now.
I know.
And like
long time.
I know.
And so we just, I don't know. I feel that.
What year was it? Do you know that we met at the award show?
You were one of the first kind of friends I met in Nashville, and it was, I don't know, like it was one of the award shows, and
like 14 maybe.
Yeah.
15?
So literally almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like we've known y'all.
Isn't that wild?
And then we almost did y'all's interior show. We almost redid the Brentwood house, but then we sold it.
Yes.
Y'all came over and we like scoped out the place. We're going to be on the show.
That
house was so
right.
cool.
I know. But then we sold it real quick. So we were like, oh, we can't do it. But yeah, so we've known each other for a while.
We really
And
have.
it's not often that I feel this way, but I don't know if y'all feel this way ever, but when you meet somebody, you're like, I feel like I've just already known you.
Oh,
totally.
Y'all always feel like that to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have to tell Brittney's husband is I hated when people did this to me. I mean, I was either somebody's wife or Miley's mom.
I mean, he's a rock star. He's a rock star.
Brian Kelley, who is now doing his own thing, right? But was a part of Florida Georgia Line for years. And that's how we met in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just wanted to, and here's what I love about Brittney. Let's hear it.
Let's pump
Me
her
and
up.
Brittney already
Y'all keep going, please.
You're like, tell me more.
I think I've related to you a lot because your situation wasn't the same, but I was adopted.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I just know that your childhood, there was a lot of like issues and abandonment issues and all of that. And so I feel like I connected with you in that way.
No, I felt the same way.
Yeah. And so, but what I love about that is I feel like, especially now, like people are always the victim. They always love to play the victim. And they're always like, well, this happened to me. And then I look at people like you that like it just did the opposite. And by the time you were 16, you were like a boss babe and just like kicking total booty.
Well, thank you for saying that. I was literally telling my husband BK this yesterday, and I was like, I do connect with Tish so much because of to echo exactly what you just said. And I'm like, you turned it around and turned it on.
Yeah.
Like you became what do they say? Like you kind of break that generational curse or that cycle.
Totally.
And it's a really hard weight to carry, but like it's so worth it in the end. And like, really obviously, like you're a huge entrepreneur. Like,
because I get, like there's times when you are not feeling like, I mean, we all have these moments of like, we feel like we're kicking butt and we are feeling really good about ourselves. But in the moments that I'm in those anxiety periods or like just looking back at my life, I do go, okay, you had a real crap start.
And like y'all have done a lot of work with mental health.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like I was a psychology major. Like I'm huge mental health advocate, and it really does take work, but like
does.
you reap the benefits, like, you know, and
So that's why like I connect with
I know,
Brittney
same.
in that way.
That's literally what I was telling my husband yesterday. I'm like, y'all just adopt me.
Seriously,
I am available.
yeah.
So like,
I mean, you're in. It feels like you are anyway.
no, literally, I stayed here last night, and I was like, I literally feel like I'm just like coming to some family's house, staying over. Like,
and that's how I always felt at your house too.
Oh.
Like her house, you talk about interior design.
Oh
I gotta
my
have y'all over to the Nashville house.
Is it insane?
Oh my gosh.
I remember you were telling me the plans.
Yeah.
And
we were randomly, not to like humble brag, but we were on cribs. Like, first off,
that's still a thing.
Like, I'm small town girl from Georgia, grew up in a double wide trailer with my grandmother, number one. So let's just put that there. So like,
let's put that out there.
To be and watched cribs like on
and
MTV.
honestly,
it's still around.
I didn't know that.
Love that. Like, I love it that I grew up in Eastern Kentucky.
100%.
I said used to my accent was my biggest insecurity, and now I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like now I feel like it. Everybody's like, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
What about it? Like,
yeah.
You know?
I mean, the boys were saying last night it was charming, right? Right, boys?
Exactly.
You know, like
they're like, where are you from?
I
Like,
know.
that's actually what I was
Somewhere
telling BK too. I'm like, yeah, and Tish is from Kentucky. Like, she gets it. Like, but it's still open minded and like, you know, just I don't know. I feel like connect you on that level too.
Yeah, it's great.
You know,
totally. We've evolved.
We have come out of the sticks.
We have
into the light.
Sort of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sort of. It's still in here.
Right here, and you and your camo, and me here I am with my light.
I love the camo. Okay, it's good. Okay, Tish loves a love story. Have you ever heard the story of how Brittney and Brian met?
I need to.
I feel like she needs to
I
hear
don't know
it.
if I have.
It's
really
seemingly
good.
juicy, but it is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not. Yeah, but I feel like you're gonna love this.
The stoners, they love love.
The stoners love love.
Okay, so I'm 19 years old. I'm dating this guy, and I meet Brian at this Thanksgiving because he's dating that guy's sister. Can you picture that? So I'm dating this guy. I'm 19, dating the 19-year-old brother, and then BK's, 24, dating the 24-year-old sister.
I'm done.
We're like, hey, what's up?
And they're at Thanksgiving.
They're at Thanksgiving. They're me at Thanksgiving. And so we date those people for like a year and a half. Like BK's at that point starting Florida Georgia Line. Like, I mean, I think his girlfriend at the time was like making the logo and stuff. And so we're like listening to demos, like he's getting it in his Tahoe with the band, like that status.
Wow.
And so we're dating those people. We end up breaking up with those people and like moving on. And we actually dated other people in between that. And then our worlds just wrapped back around when I was 23. And I was at the University of Georgia. And he was like texting, like coming through, like I'm swinging through, like, and I just honestly, well, first off, nothing juicy happened when we dated those people.
Right.
So no, we were both very loyal individuals.
Yeah.
And it's a God thing, I really think, because if I wouldn't have seen him in that element, seeing him loyal to her in that way in the early days, it would have been hard for me to have trusted him later on in life.
Yes.
So as weird as that may sound, it was like a really cool, like connective moment before the fame came. And so anyways, fast forward, we've like broken up with those people, and then our worlds wrap back around, and he's texting me, tries to get me to come to a few shows. And then I think on the third time he texted me coming through, he caught me in a weak moment, and I was like having a hard finals week and having like a really bad mental health moment. I was like, I'm going to the show, and a bunch of my friends were going, and
that's fun.
And then we never stopped texting. And then so we started dating like 2013 in like May, and then we were married in December of that year.
Wow.
We just knew we wanted to be partners. Like it was a really cool moment because I don't know, I feel like it is cliche and kind of cheesy to be like, oh, when you know. I just never thought that. I was like,
oh no, she's
I'm
all
not-
about
you
that.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not getting married till like I'm like later 30s, like and I had this whole plan because I wanted to.
Okay, but here's what's interesting about the when you know, because when you met him and you guys were dating other people, was there anything at all?
Well, I think about it even deeper. It's like, well, we obviously didn't feel it. It wasn't vibing then. It was timing. You know, it's like, I see him. You're cute. You're like attractive. You're awesome. But like, I'm such a loyalist. Like I wasn't even thinking to flirt with anybody. And same for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wrapped back around. I just went as a friend, and then we just connected like right away. I knew it right away. I was like, oh God, this is like, and I was even thinking, damn, we dated siblings. Like, this is weird. Like, you know what I mean? And then he just like pretty early on admitted, he was like, he had said he had an overwhelming feeling of loving me on like a deeper level, even when he met me. And he had heard my story through those people. So it's like, he knew me on an even deeper level just from knowing my story at such a young age, So it just was weird because I was like, damn, when you know you really know.
You do.
It's
Brandy
kinda
hates
trip.
it. I always say,
I know.
my mom met my dad on Monday, got married on Friday, and they
yeah. I remember
were
you telling me.
married for till he passed away.
Yeah.
And mom never remarried, never dated anyone else. Like she was like, I met him, I knew.
Yeah, that's how I feel. And it's like, for me, I thought it was gonna be like this overwhelming, like, butterfly feeling, like just attraction. And it was, but it was on such a deeper level of like, we're just gonna do life together.
That's how it was with Dom.
You're just like, I know we're gonna do life together. And it's like, I always had the mentality of like, you're never gonna find someone absolutely perfect. You're gonna have to find someone that you want to figure shit out with. Because you're always going to be figuring shit out. There's always going to be challenges.
Yep.
There's always going to be obstacles.
Yep.
You're going to face a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
And you just have to want to figure it out. So it's like that person, not some person that just is like this Prince Charming in like a romance movie.
Yep.
It's like, that doesn't exist. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's the real world. Find somebody to figure out with.
It's true.
Yeah. I know. I feel like the older I get, the more I think like finding a best friend is more important than like the butterflies and the blah blah blah.
That's
you know what I
it.
mean?
That's it.
I like
And
and
a hot best friend.
I
A hot
actually
best
think
friend.
but when it is that way and you are best friends with someone, like they become that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like also.
Yeah.
Like, I watched the Call Her Daddy episode, so I'm caught up to that degree.
Oh, great.
I'm so happy for you.
you?
Yes, we haven't got to talk about that yet.
I know.
I'm like,
I know,
happy for me.
and I wish he was here. She's gonna just miss him.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
His dad just passed away on Monday. And it was
Sorry.
broke my heart. And so he gets back from Ireland. He's been there 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I've missed him so much. He is just
So you felt that. You were just like, we're going to figure shit out.
it was crazy because I met him. I DM'd him.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I love that.
And,
Shoot your shot, girl.
But the truth is like being the boss babe that I am, I had a reason.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Prison Break fan. And
Yeah.
so like I slid into the DMs about putting together a show because I have a deal at
Of
NBCU
course,
and the whole
yeah.
thing. And so
She's like, I have a deal. I have a production company.
Let's talk about creating a show, which he was like, great. But I swear I walked in and I'll never forget it because I wanted to make a point that I was there not just for the show.
Right.
So I just walk in and I'm like,
oh.
And he said, the minute you touched me,
He's
I
like,
knew I was spending the rest of my life with you.
I
And I
am dead.
swear
He
it
like
was true.
just came in his pants.
It was crazy.
Probably.
I mean, but literally that day, I was like, I don't know what it is, but I'm supposed to spend my life.
That's it.
You are my partner.
It's like overwhelming is how I felt. And I just didn't think I'd ever feel that. That's a cool feeling to relate on.
And honestly, I felt like we were friends when we were there. Like we were playing darts and having a few little drinks and just chatting. And it was like, oh, I like hanging out with you.
Yeah.
You know, it was so great.
You.
And it's just been awesome. Yeah. Brandy loves him.
I do. And I love talking about him every week on this podcast so
I
much.
will say,
She's like, next subject.
Brandy's a hard one to win over.
Are you? Because I feel like we connected so hard at the beginning. I'm like,
no, but like
No.
the jury was out for a very long time.
You were like, you don't trust like right off the bat.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not the male species,
No.
especially. And
What do you do? Like, what do you do? You just kind of like interview them in low key?
I mean, it's like, I like to like just
Ignore
observe.
them.
No, I just I'm nice and like I'm welcoming, but also like I'm judging you hard from the corner.
Just
type
like
vibe.
that.
You know what I mean?
Just like that.
I said this at the wedding. Like I'm really impressed with like the person that he is, and there's so many qualities about Dom that we're just not used to around the house.
Yeah.
Like we were talking yesterday actually about like eye contact, which is such like a simple thing that not a lot of people these days do. Like it's rare, especially to meet a man, I think, that like looks you in the eye and like talks to you and listens to what you're saying. And like Dom is engaged. Like when you walk in and he's like, how are you? What have you been up to? Like he is engaged and he's like listening to what you're saying and like he remembers things. Like
it kind of still makes me nervous.
Yeah, she literally is like, I'm just like not used to that.
Or, like, is
eye
he
contact,
sitting like as an informant in this?
I mean,
like,
I'm
what's he?
And like that's
love
just
that.
something I don't know. Like
Though people don't do that anymore.
don't do
So
that.
I'm always like, where's my weed?
It's like you're
She's like,
like you're making me nervous, bro.
But honestly, it's so great.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Very sweet.
Yeah, that was definitely like a check on my box. I was like, I've got to have somebody that's like with it, conscious, can have a deeper conversation than just surface level, and like it's a good place to start.
You know what? I really don't like surface level talking.
I hate it.
I'm kind of like,
what are your traumas? How are you moving past them? Like,
yes.
do you have any advice? Do you have any
What's your
reads?
childhood wound?
I'm seriously
reading,
not a
like?
chit chatter.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so Dom's lovely. You'll meet him eventually.
Oh,
Sure.
I love that.
You got to come back over for another sleepover.
I know.
You have to. He's like, you're just gonna love.
I love it. I know.
Yeah. He's just the best.
I would love to come back at any point.
Yes, come back.
We should,
Basically, every time you're in LA, you'll just stay.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
Great.
Then
Perfect.
BK won't have to worry about it.
I know. I come and check my factories like 6 times a year. So
Perfect.
Are they here?
Mhm.
Okay, that's a good segue into
segue.
because we could sit here and just chat for hours. Let's talk about Tribe Kelley. It's made in LA, which is why you come here to check on your factories 4 to 6 times a year. So I would love for you to just like tell the stoners a little bit about the brand, what inspired you to start it, and what it all really means to you.
Yeah, for sure. So in college, like when I was at the University of Georgia studying psychology, I really didn't have a lot of time to like or go party or drink or any of that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a little hobby. And so I started making like custom t-shirts. I would make like festival t-shirts or bachelorette t-shirts. I did a lot of jewelry. Would go and like break down old vintage jewelry and like change it into something new. And so I kind of started this online Etsy company at first. So I knew that I loved to connect with people in that way, like send people something, make them happy. And then they send me a picture. Like I just loved that. I think I had like, it was called like Wonder Town. It was my Etsy. And I made a good amount of money to just kind of not have to like have another job. And so knew I loved it then. I got married at the end of my college career, like literally went straight on the bus from college, like 12 dudes. And I was like, I had that in me to like, I'm like, I can't just sit around on the bus. I can't just like, I got to be doing something. I want to create something. I want to have my hands in something. And so that's kind of where Tribe Kelley started. And I was like, well, I'm married now. Like I want it to be a representative of my family. Like, yeah, there's even deeper roots. Like there's, Cherokee Native American in my family. Like I grew up in this really small town in Georgia called Flowville, Georgia. And it was right next to this place called Indian Springs. And so we loved the whole Native American culture and like kind of learning about it, learning about the Cherokee heritage. And so I was like, I wanted a name that was representative family, like a tribe. And so, and then obviously our last name's Kelley. So I was like, that just felt like it was supposed to be. And
I love that.
Yeah, and then for like a year and a half, I started researching like how to start a clothing brand, literally google.com, how to start a clothing brand, and just started writing my business plan, putting the template together. A friend of mine, Kylie, who's actually here with me today, and another girlfriend of mine helped me create basically the brand. I mean, we came downtown to LA, we scouted out places, like so many people, told me to go overseas and like just make sure you make the profit. And like, I was definitely in it as a business for profit, but I was like, I really want to make something special that I'm like super proud of. Like, I want to know who's sewing it. Once I started literally just Googling, I was like, wow, like overseas laws are just different. It's different labor wages. It's different age, ranges that people are working, and there's not, health codes put in place. Just personally for my morals and my ethics, that's not the direction I wanted to go. And so we just got told to come to LA, like everything's here. But it was just funny because it's like me and like my 2 other like little petite blonde girlfriends, and we're just like strapping on our boots and like hitting the streets in LA and like, can you make this for us? Like showing them samples. Can you make this for us? Wow. And it was really hard. I would say the first 3 or 4 years because, you're jumping around. You're trying to find who you can trust. Like your fabric person's trying to, change a price on you. And then this person didn't. It got lost in the drive. So we're trying to manage all these logistics early on as like 24-year-old girls. Yeah. And so then we hired like a production manager who kind of lived out here and kind of started to form the business in a way that was more, easy workflow. And then finally figured it out probably, I would say we're going on our 10th year anniversary this year, which is wild.
That is crazy.
I feel like I just started yesterday, but about year 6 is when like I really got my business in line and really found my team here in LA. And so now we're on like a good pace. Like all of my stuff is made under one roof practically. Like everything's cut there and sewn there and finished there. And then it's literally taken upstairs to be fulfilled.
Wow.
And so it used to be in like 7 different locations. And so now we've kind of got everything under one roof. And yeah, like over 2020, we sold so many sweatsuits. So that is just like what took off is the sweatsuits.
Yeah.
And,
we
and
love a
was that like
sweatsuit.
quarantine era?
It was
That's
quarantine era.
probably-
I was
what perfect
really
timing.
nervous. Like I put a lot of, the company's profits back into making these sweatsuits. And then COVID happened.
Mhm.
And we
Wow.
launched 3 weeks into COVID and honestly had our best
Freaking
collection
genius.
we've ever done. Cause we were
Yeah.
just like, I need some sweatsuits.
Literally, everyone wore sweats for
That's
2 years.
crazy.
I was like about to throw up the night before because I had invested a lot of my own
Yeah.
money into it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, thank God. Like,
Something great came out of
I know
Yeah.
something good came
and
out of the
so we just started cranking out sweatsuits. Like we cannot keep them in stock.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, like I could talk about Tribe Kelley forever, but in a nutshell, like we're ethical driven, we are very like rising sustainable company. Like we got the Rising Sustainability Award at Magic this year, which is really exciting. So we don't overproduce. We're not fast fashion. We don't take a sample and remake it really quick.
Yeah.
Like it's a long form process. Like I design a year out, sometimes a year and a half out. Everything's small batch. So it's just ethically done and as sustainable as I know how
Yeah.
to be done. And I'm constantly learning.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot in that industry. I mean, there's a lot of documentaries popping up right now about things that are going on in the fashion industry. And it is so important to understand like
Wow.
what weight that puts on our world and our other people in other countries. Like
Mhm.
it's really important just to know, just like the food in our body, like what's going on in our body, even down to the chemicals that go on our skin.
I know.
Yeah.
And so it's really deep. And so I just encourage people to do your own research. I'm not saying I know it all. I'm learning something every year. And so it's anything that touches my body or goes in my body. I'm like, how can I just 100% know that it has good intention in it, good energy in it, and it's just good for me. It's not harming me. And so that's kind of like our little
So
mission.
good.
Yeah.
And
I can attest because I've got some Tribe Kelley sweats from that first collection and I
Oh.
still wear them to this
Dude,
day.
I know.
So like the quality is there. And I know like I think now everything's so expensive. You probably hear it less. But I know in the beginning I would always see you posting about like, a lot of people are saying like the pieces are kind of
Mhm.
pricey, but this
Yeah.
is why and this is the breakdown or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we're finally getting to a place where people finally understand the like quality over quantity and like
Right.
yeah, it's a little more expensive, but you get so many wears of it out of it and it lasts and like you can
Right.
keep washing it and it's not going to fall apart.
Right.
Whereas like when you go and buy a $15 shirt, you get to wear it 5 times and then it's trash.
Well, they literally stitch it to fall apart after X number of washes so that you get a new one.
Yeah.
Like there's marketing on a very deep level behind this fast fashion. And so, yeah, like this hoodie, you're probably going to wear honestly until forever.
Yeah.
Whereas,
And not to mention then the $15 one goes in the trash.
Right.
And
and then
like,
that goes somewhere that you can
Yes.
research. That's really terrible
I
to
know,
see.
it's awful.
And
But
no,
I
I
do
appreciate.
I do feel like
Mhm.
people are starting to understand all these things. And
Yeah.
like you said, are willing.
And even the price, like if you just think like, okay, let's say the hoodie's $100.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about it. Somebody cut it, spent an hour cutting it, and that's minimum wage in the United States. Then someone spent an hour sewing it. Then someone bagged it up. Then someone walked it up the elevator, and then they had to pack it and check it in. So think about how many hours were spent on
Yeah.
that and what like the average price is, And it's like we're just paying people fairly. We're not even overpaying people. We're just paying people fairly, And so when you really think about what goes into it, and then okay, now I have a $9 piece. How is that $9? And so
Exactly.
somebody didn't get paid along the way.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's usually on the backs of the people that are really putting their
I
hard work
know.
into it.
It's terrible.
So yeah, once I started doing research, I was like, if I'm going to do this, it's going to be the long route. It's going to be the hard route. It's going to take a while to get profitable, but we did it the right way. And
Totally.
like, it's just amazing. And so we just did a collaboration last season with Mossy Oak,
So
which
sick.
is like my favorite camo brand. I know you know a Mossy Oak.
I know.
from
Wait, and this
Kentucky.
is 2, right?
So yeah, this is the second collection that we have Mossy Oak featured in.
Love.
And it's just so funny because the first collection that Mossy Oak was featured in, it was called Back Home Collection. And I literally went back home to like my old dirt road and like shot it. And camo was my bestseller of 10 years of my life. And it's just funny because I'm like,
Wow.
just get back to the basics.
Yep. Back to your roots.
Back to your roots.
Yep.
And then that sold the most.
Incredible.
And so
That
like,
is crazy.
I know. So it's been a full circle moment, like going on 10 years. And I don't know, something I feel really proud of. Whereas, it is a struggle when you're a woman in business, number one,
Totally.
where like, if I was a man going down on the streets of LA, they would probably be like, yeah, $11 is fine. But they're like, oh no. And like want to haggle with you. And like, as a woman, you do face a little bit different circumstances when you're negotiating in these masculine positions, you know? And so I do feel proud of myself because I wanted to give up in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do this, you know?
Can't imagine.
But now it's easy. Like, we're going to pop in our factory today. Like, I love my team there. I'm going to see everybody sewing it.
I love that.
I love it too.
I could eat off the floors. It's so clean in there. Like, it's it's so clean. And I just am proud of that I can say that, you know. And
she's inspiring me. I might need to start my own brand.
Dude, everything. You should. Hey,
I know.
I've already done all the things wrong, so I can at least tell you the things not to do. So,
and I love, like, I feel like some people, when they first hear of the brand, they think like, oh, it's your and Brian's brand or whatnot, because he is so supportive, which is so cool. But I mean, you're running the show here. This is your baby.
I'm running the show 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think too, like sometimes too, like when I'm like, you know, at a concert, people are like, oh, you probably have like a team handle it for you. It's probably like, you know, white labeled. I'm like, no. I'm picking out the thread and like from North Carolina. Like, I mean, this is like, I'm running the operations. I'm the CEO. I'm like running our meetings, like looking at budgets, like looking at profit margins, like I'm picking inventory numbers. So yeah, I think when people learn that, they're like, oh.
Well, and also I think that's how I would have to be, because like I would need to control everything.
Yeah.
Down to the thread.
Yeah.
No, literally,
well, if
I'm
you
like,
don't, it's not right.
No, really. And it matters because no one, I think like Gary V. Do you know Gary V?
Yeah.
I love following him. But he's
funny.
like, no one is going to love your product or your baby, your brand like you do. And that's okay. It doesn't make them bad people. They're there to do their job, but no one is going to like look down to that detail of like, oh, it's a little more brown than gray, or it's a little more, you know, and it's like, it's your brand. You should just be the one doing it.
Totally.
You know, and that kind of inspired me. I was like, yeah, even like when you get into the, you know, I know you're a manager. It's like even getting in the nitty gritty of like expense, like what subscriptions do we have this month? What, you know, like even stuff like that. Like I like to have control of, and like I encourage people that want to start their own company or brand or get into entrepreneurship to be obsessed with every detail.
You have to.
Every detail. Even if you have that head person, get in there quarterly with them and just get really, really, really detailed. And it's like, because you're the only one that really cares the most, you know?
I think that's why Miley too and I have worked so well as me as her manager, because she's always like my mom, every decision she makes is only going to be because she wants what's best.
Right.
You know what I mean? What, like,
that has to be a comforting feeling.
Yeah.
You know,
because you just no one else.
And you've done that the whole time, right? Yeah. That would be a comforting feeling for me to know that my family that I can trust is like looking at those details.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about weed a little bit since we're smoking it up over here, ladies.
I'm jealous you're up there smoking a new one. I'm gonna have to open a new one.
We don't always have guests that are so open about smoking and marijuana, and so I think it's great for my mom especially to have somebody that can talk about it and share, because I think one of the things the stoners really love is my mom is very open about the fact that she struggles with a lot of anxiety, and the smoking for her just really helps. I think it also helps you creatively, right?
It helps my life.
Yeah, I would love for you to kind of share with the stoners like what role marijuana plays in your life, how long have you been smoking, and why do you love it so much?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, you know, in a small town in Georgia, so it was definitely a big deal to like be a weed smoker. And it was, there just had a stigma on it. And so I grew up with that stigma on it, but like I was always very open to weed. Like, I mean, and I'm confessing it all here, you know, but like in high school, like I tried weed and I was like, wow. Like, and I mean, just like any other high schooler, probably like trying, you know, alcohol or beer or this, and like smoking weed just made me feel really more myself, like settled, calm, like interested, like, you know, interested.
I'm serious. Like, this is
so you. I know.
And so, I don't know. I just felt like that was kind of who I was supposed to be and settled in, and like versus like alcohol or anything else. And so I didn't smoke a ton of weed in high school, but then when I got to college, I definitely, especially when I got into psychology and also learned about like more natural, you know, ways to remedy anxiety, medical marijuana was something that we studied. And like, we literally looked at the brain, like your brain scans under like alcohol and marijuana use and, you know, other drug use, and marijuana really, the only like, you know, bad effect was like your short-term memory was, you know, stunned a little, but it's like, that's what they're giving you chemical medicines for too.
I know.
So why would I not just smoke a plant and like be able to relax my short-term memory a little? But like the worst thing you can do is eat too many snacks.
Exactly.
Like that's the worst thing I've ever done is eat too many snacks and get in bed too early.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So I'm not a big like partier either. Like
No, me
I don't
either.
really like to be like in the club.
No.
Right.
And so I just like to go home. Like in
neither.
college, I used to like have my little bong and like go home and rip my bong, close my curtains, and
Isn't
just
it great?
eat a snack in the bed.
Yeah.
Me and my roommate at the time, Kylie, we would literally just get in bed. I had like a king bed and we would just watch TV and like smoke
it's
and just
too good.
chill.
It's so great.
And it you wake up feeling good. You're not hungover. And I don't know. I like myself on it.
Me,
and
this is exactly
know.
me.
and I don't, for me personally, I do think, meds for some people that battle anxiety, I
Yeah.
do think there's periods and times that people should help utilize those. But for me personally, I had tried those, I went through a very traumatic situation at 17 and I immediately got put on Prozac.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my senior superlative was like class clown. Like I was a very silly kid. And after they put me on Prozac, I was just like,
Really?
not happy, not sad. Definitely nothing was funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, I immediately recognized, I'm so thankful for like the self-awareness. But I immediately recognized like, I'm not myself. I'm like hovering over myself.
Yeah.
And so I just got off that and then just kind of used weed as like a medicinal tool.
Yeah.
When I come home, like just like someone would pour them a glass of wine at 5, like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a little hit.
That's what I say all the time.
And it's like I take a deep breath. It's like the way I can, describe it.
That's
And
exactly me.
and it got me through school. Like I think I would have probably been at the bars a lot more and been partying a lot more and trying to find that relaxing feeling. But like it got me through school on days that I just needed to study. It's like I would get done with classes and then I would go to the study room for like 2 or 3 hours and I'd come home and like smoke and just relax.
Yeah.
Versus feeling like, okay, well, I'm gonna go have drinks and stay up till 3 and like, I don't know, it got me through a lot because like I was like paying my own way through school and stuff. So I was like, I can't fuck this up.
Right.
And that really
That's
helped
so
me like
true.
just lock into my own world and self and kind of focus on what I needed to like focus on.
It's so interesting because like I know a lot of people that smoke and just become a couch potato.
Well, I feel like when I tell people I smoke, they're like, "Oh, you're a stoner," and I'm like,
yeah,
it depends on what like type of good. There's different kinds of stoners. There's people who literally waste their life away, but like those people would be doing that anyway.
That's exactly what I think.
Or there's people that are literally getting shit done and conquering the world and like being a boss, and like if I could show you how much I get done in one day,
oh yeah,
and then I smoke
mean,
a little weed at the end of the day, it's like that doesn't make me a
So
lazy stoner.
Do you wake up and start smoking, or do you normally wait till the afternoon?
I have different days.
Yeah.
So like because I do a lot of, because I feel like you probably do this too, but a lot of left and right brain things.
Yep.
So like I schedule my days out of like, I have admin days where I'm like hitting emails, hitting my Zooms, doing my meetings, if I'm working with numbers or anything like that, I don't smoke during the day.
Okay.
And I wait till the end of the day and it's like a little treat. But then on creative days when I'm literally coming up with like colors and styles, I'm like, I'm smoking today. And we're going to sit here and like laugh and talk and dream. And so
That's my favorite way.
Yeah.
It's exactly how I do it.
yeah. And then on the weekend, I'm like, if I have nothing to do today and it's a sunny day, I'm about to lay down, I'm going to wake up, smoke a little and lay out and just get some sun.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, you're a very right-brained person though.
Left, right?
Is right creative?
Right's your creative, left is like
I'm a rock.
very like
yes,
business.
very like she doesn't work with numbers ever and doesn't answer emails
Well,
ever.
I do when I'm like, well, how much we talking for
Well,
to
no,
go
it's
to
like-
South America?
No, you recognize like where you need fill in. It's like, get the left brain people to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's how I personally like to work. So there are some days that I'm like, you know what?
Me too. But some days I will say, like, if I have to get on a Zoom and it's like 4 p.m. and I'm like, I just cannot talk to one more person.
Yeah.
Take a couple hits of weed, jump on that Zoom.
All of a
I am
sudden-
like,
Depends on the Zoom for me.
Yeah.
Depends on the Zoom.
yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I
I'm
could
like,
do
I
that.
just cannot do this Zoom right now. And then
But
I'll
it does that interest factor. It's like,
Yes.
I'm going to be a little more interested in whatever this topic
Totally.
is.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you smoke sativa or indica?
It just depends. Same thing.
Okay.
I like the mood. Like if I'm like trying to get to sleep, like last night
Yeah.
when we got back
Oh
from
my God,
your
we were all
DJ,
wired, I know.
Which by the way, we went to the Soho House last night and Brandy umta on the DJ.
But that was very chill.
We got up a couple times and
Yeah.
hit a couple.
But it was
cranked it a
definitely not
couple
like a
times.
typical club atmosphere, I will say.
Yeah.
We sat outside on the porch and they smoked and we
At
just
Soho?
talked. No, here.
Oh,
I was
last
like,
night,
I was
yeah.
like, surely she can't hear. You didn't hear us, right?
Not at all.
Okay,
Oh,
I was like, surely not. No, I
That was probably so loud.
But yeah, we sat back out here and had a big time. I was like, it's such a shame that Tish is asleep because she would love
would've
this.
loved
We should have knocked on your window.
I know, but it was late. It was late. It was like,
But like to your
12:30.
question, like last night, I was like so awake from like coming from the club.
I know.
I was like, I got to smoke an indica.
Yeah.
So indica,
Yeah.
I'm like indica couch.
Yeah.
That's how I remember that. I'm like smoke indica.
Yeah.
Indica. I'm gonna go indica couch.
Yeah, nice.
And then sativa, I'm like, I'm gonna clean this whole house on sativa.
That's what I love.
And then hybrid's like, I'm gonna go hang out backstage at BK show.
Okay.
This is exactly how it all affects me.
That's the chart. That's the chart.
I haven't got it
Just-
down to a
yep.
science.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
have mine down to a science too.
I'm like the pharmacy. I'm like, hey, where am I?
Yep.
We do that.
Yeah.
The only thing for me is sometimes indica does make me feel a little hungover.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I have to go like straight to sleep on it.
Mhm.
Mm.
Like
It's weird because I like it, but it does.
the next morning it
I'm just
lingers.
a little groggy.
Well, it's supposed
Yeah.
to make you tired.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe don't take that unless like I'm like if I get a full night's sleep, I don't have to get up early in the
Yeah.
airport.
Mm-hmm.
But a hybrid can make you kind of tired too.
That's what I'll usually do.
Like if
It's
I'm
just
trying to
not
watch a full movie, I'm going
Oh.
hybrid.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good.
I
This
love
is good stuff.
getting in bed after smoking some hybrid and watching some weird dating show and
Yeah.
just blanking out.
Dateline.
And I do that too.
Me and BK were like, it's
Brand-
Friday. Let's
Brandy
get bed and
gets
watch
so mad at
Dateline.
me. She's like, "Mom, stop watching."
Like I can't.
Me
with
and
that.
Brian,
I love
we
some-
say like in another life, we could be really good like criminal
Oh, me
investigators.
too.
100%.
I just like can't watch that shit.
I
It's-
mean,
it's too
I
depressing.
used to be addicted to there was what was the other one called? Not Dateline.
2020.
Forensic Files.
Oh, Forensic
Ah.
Files. I like that.
I
terrifying.
could
A lot of good
kill
evidence in
somebody
those.
so easily and not get
dead.
A lot of concrete evidence, not consequential in there.
seriously.
Brittney, we have a segment called Cannabis Confessions. Do you have any
Okay.
good stories of like when you got too high or went on a bad trip or anything like that?
Oh, I have a good too high
Oh,
story.
great.
Okay, it's not a long story, but
That's
we're at
okay.
the Billboard Music Awards.
Oof.
Had a really big night. That was
Okay.
like honestly could have retired then. Lil Wayne wore Tribe Kelly.
Oh,
On the
were we-
Billboard Awards.
Were you there? Were we there? I feel
I
like
don't. We were there.
Okay.
Maybe you were
I
there.
feel like we were
I
there.
don't
Yeah.
think I was.
I think I remember this.
lost my Georgia girl mind literally
Oh
because
my
I
God.
loved hip hop growing up.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne,
Lil
people used to
Wayne,
call me Lil Yeezy. Like I know all the lyrics, every song, Firefighter, like all of it. And so we just had some of our stuff being shown in the showroom in LA, and we heard that Lil Wayne stylist pulled
Pulled
some
it.
stuff, and we were at the Billboard Awards.
That's crazy.
Like my husband was up, they were up for like duo country of the year, whatever. We're like 3 rows back, and he comes out with Nicki Minaj, and I literally get up in my seat with the phone. You know, nobody's standing up in the Cool
No
People
one.
Club.
Yeah.
Me from Georgia, just double wide trailer girl. I'm like, here we go. Like,
Oh
Lil
my
Wayne's the thing.
God.
I like sent it to both my friends, and like
That's
we were
cool.
That is
freaking out.
So cool.
He like added fur to it, whatever. So, anyways, I was celebrating that night,
Uh-huh.
and at the time, like Wiz Khalifa and BK, like they're buddies. And
I
so
love
I
Wiz.
know I didn't watch. All right, no, I did. I saw some clips of him, and I was like,
Yeah.
Wiz.
Love.
But anyways, BK's like, Wiz wants us to come hang out, like go to his suite. We're gonna smoke some and like whatever. So we go to Wiz's, and y'all, I don't know what we were smoking, but I was like this. I was like this. I was like, whoa, I'm like in a waterbed or something.
Oh my, that is the worst feeling.
I don't ever get too stoned either. Like I can handle a lot. Like
Yeah.
I can literally eat like a 50 milligram edible and be fine.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it's a little concerning. And we were at this place, and I turned to BK, and I was like, I feel like I was like holding on to like a ship. And I
Oh
was like,
God, that's the worst
are
feeling
you
ever.
high? And he's like, yeah. And at one point, I was like, maybe we're on something else.
That's what I would think immediately.
I would too. I would
Yeah.
That's what I
freak
kind of thought. I mean, no, I mean, he has his own weed,
Yeah,
KK. And
yeah.
he was like, this is my weed. It came straight. I think it was just so fresh.
I
And
actually
like,
love it. He just sent me some yesterday.
it's our favorite weed. We like
I'm
search high. We
obsessed.
call before we come to LA. We call and see who has it. Like,
Yeah, like literally, Caddy has him on speed dial. I'm like, get me some of that.
no, I was so high. I was like, it was like get him to the Greek high. I was like, I gotta get up. Like I can't just sit here and stare at everybody. I was like, oh, you got this such nice wallpaper in here.
Because see, I don't ever remember getting that stoned smoking it, but the like edibles and stuff.
Yeah.
I've been there and it's the worst.
It's like a
feeling.
body high.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta lay down. I need to lay down
Yeah.
for that.
Need to lay down.
But we were like up all night. We literally were there till 4 a.m.
Wow.
And like then had a flight at like 6 a.m. the next morning, and I was like, whoa.
You're like,
and I didn't even
okay,
drink
okay.
that night.
Yeah.
And I was
BK
like,
and Wiz is too good.
I was about to say
They're
that would be a
hilarious.
great collab.
Yep.
I
Music
know.
collab.
well, might still happen. He
Let's
just
put
did
that
one.
out there.
BK just did one with Flo Rida.
I know. I play that in my sets
You
sometimes.
do?
I sure do.
Dude, I love that song.
Yeah, it's good.
I love it.
I
It's a
know.
good song to.
It's great for the
Yeah.
club. Yeah, especially like the country pool parties and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Maybe
that's.
y'all need to do a remix.
I know.
I know we should, but I
probably do.
feel like BK and Wiz need to do a song.
They do.
I
I'll do the
know.
remix. That sounds genius.
I know.
That
We
is
love Wiz.
absolutely genius.
Yeah. Should we play a little truth or toke with Brittney?
We can.
Do we need to break another one of these out? Should I
Definitely.
break
Oh,
this out?
yeah.
So,
I'm
truth or
on-
toke?
I'm
you
on
already
number 2.
She's
Oh, I don't have my glasses.
It's 11 a.m. by the way.
Somebody bring the glasses. Truth or toke is what it sounds like. We ask you questions. You can either tell the truth or toke or both.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this lit up. Look,
gotta
I
get
had
Tish's
these are my
glasses for.
prescription glasses.
I love
I know you need a little some more. I could see you in some like
Oh,
tinted ones.
I have ones that look identical to
She
this.
does.
Yeah.
I have a sunglasses and a glasses.
Do you have
but
your prescription in them?
but they're, see, I only need readers.
Oh, mine's
So-
mine's long distance.
So
Yeah.
they look so much like that, but they don't have as pretty of a tint.
These are just I mean, not even get paid to say this, but iBuyDirect.com, $35.
She always plugs I buy direct.
I mean, it's good.
Wait, those are on iBuy Direct?
iBuy
Yeah.
Direct. Yep.
I buy. Sure.
Maybe
She's
they'll
got the closest accent to you for sure.
Probably,
The I buy direct.
iBuy Direct.
I can't even. Like, I used to try to fake it and would sound
She
so
did.
ridiculous.
When she
that
says
I finally-
Miley's name, she's always like
Miley.
Miley, like
Molly.
adds as many
Because
syllables
when
as
I say
possible.
it, everybody, literally, I'm not even kidding. Who was I talking to? I think Dom when we first met. And then finally he was like, who the is
Is
Molly?
Molly.
And I'm like, no, Miley. And he was like,
Miley.
oh. And so now I'm just like, okay, I'm not trying that anymore.
Yeah. Miley.
That is hilarious.
But our accents are insane. But okay, so I bet then I can get those just as readers.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you can just get the readers or long distance or the both.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
$35 too. So I ordered like 5
Here you go,
Ah.
Tiz.
Yeah, these are on Amazon. $14.99. I order 10 at a time because I lose them so much.
That is funny.
Okay.
Incredible.
Are you going
Wait,
first?
has Bogey been here the whole time?
Yes. And look how
What-
cute he is.
What a little angel.
He's just been sitting there like
With the queen.
he's like
Yep.
he would sit up and look around. I was starting to crack up because you were talking like about the factory stuff, and Bogey was just like looking.
It's like,
Like I was like dying.
like,
Bogey's
sorry.
probably free in contact high between the two of you
I know.
guys.
He
You
actually
know?
is kind of stuck.
He is. He looks. He looks
He's
a little
like-
stony. He
Funny.
does.
oh.
All
cute.
right. I think you have the first question, although it's kind of.
We already kind of did
We
it.
already kind of did it.
So
okay.
it's like I either smoke if I don't want to answer or I
yeah.
answer.
Or
Okay,
you-
yeah,
or
let's
you
get
can,
it.
or you can do both if you want.
I'll be doing
That's what
both.
she ends up
She is
doing.
never answering this, and I wouldn't either.
Okay. Well, are you getting ahead of me here?
Uh-huh.
All right. First question. What's the most outrageous lie you've ever told your husband?
I don't know. I really don't know. We're like not liars. So that's I guess I'll
That
toke to that.
that
Well, I
is
guess I'm
good.
just gonna toke and say I'm not
Yeah.
a liar.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a liar.
I like it.
You don't
I really
seem like a
can't-
liar.
I'm not a good liar. She is.
Oh no, I think
I'm like a
if I
fibber.
need to lie,
Mm-mm.
I can.
Like I love to joke and be like, oh, this happened or like this happened or like but like I don't know, not lie.
No lies.
No lies.
That's
I don't know,
why you guys
nothing
are still
juicy.
together.
Yep,
10 years. We're
That's
going on
why
11 years.
That's
So
why it's working for
it
you.
is working.
I think yours is next.
Okay.
Let's
What's
pick
the
whatever.
most ridiculous thing you've ever done to impress your husband before he was your husband?
probably like put in my extensions like right before he woke up. Like right in just the it only went on for like a couple months and then I was like, I gotta get over this. But I was
Oh,
like on the bus
I
with
would-
all these men and I,
I
have
would
like
so
2
be
real
doing that.
hairs.
You're like clipping them in before they wake
so
up.
I'm like getting up real early and I'm like, put my hairpiece in,
I
put my
am-
toupee in and like I woke up like this.
I'm absolutely dead because for the longest time I was like, I mean, Dom fully.
yeah, you're like,
knows.
don't touch my
I
hand.
would be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
finally, I
BK
just
would go
can't.
to like do that and I'm like, ha ha
That's
ha.
what-
I'm like, don't get it greasy.
Okay, wait. I do want to know that when did he first figure out that you had extensions?
I think he like saw him laying out of my bag and he was like, did you cut your hair? And I was like, oh, those are just my hair pieces. Don't ask any questions.
That's kind of.
I
the
always,
It was like hanging out of the bunk and like all these men are like, ugh.
That's too good. I always think about that. Like, CMTs, I had my clip-ins in or whatever. I'm like, let's just say I did go home with somebody. What do I do?
Excuse me,
tuck them in your bra during the
sex? Do I
night.
say, hold on a second, let me just take my
Let me take my weed
hair
out
out
real
really
quick.
The best thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and it wasn't embarrassing because I laughed so hard because it was so fucking funny. Does she know Derek Anderson?
Derek Sanderson?
Sanderson.
I don't think so.
He used to, long time ago, work on Sam Hunt's team. He did like social media. I don't know.
I probably recognize his
Okay,
face.
well, anyway, he's hilarious. And we are at the Proper, and he sees us, and we're having lunch. Go to hug him goodbye.
Oh, no.
And I go to walk off, and he goes, "Hey, MT, you forgot something." And I turn around, and one of my baby kids,
Stop.
Come out.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare case scenario for me.
I did this.
Fever dream for me. I'd be like, damn, I awake.
Literally, was it you with your Miley?
I think it was Miley.
Then she
I
goes,
don't-
"Mom!"
Just tagging along.
And I go, "I'm sorry, it's so good." I go, "Honey, you can keep it."
That's low key
It's
fucking
a
hilarious.
souvenir.
You gotta own it at that point.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
You're like,
"Keep it."
Oh
That
my
is
God.
hilarious.
That's too good.
Yeah, that's
He goes,
probably it.
"MT, you forgot something," and I'm like, "What?"
Just hanging
He
on.
goes,
That is hilarious.
That's really funny, actually.
It's my favorite thing ever.
Oh man, that's good. What's your weirdest or wildest celebrity encounter?
Oh gosh, immediately, my Cameron Diaz story. Long story short, we're here. The boys are doing something for some TV show or something was going on, and we were here during Easter, so we just had to stay here. And so, actually, Ashton Kutcher's a big country music fan. He had come to Stagecoach like that Wednesday, and then he invited us to a party. And then Easter was that weekend. So, anyways, we go to the party with Ashton and Mila Kunis, which I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
how'd we get here?
This is a simulation at this point. Like, why I'm here. We get to the party, meet Cameron and Benji. Well, come to find out, Benji, the Madden brothers, they were big Florida Georgia Line fans.
Ah, cute.
So they were like, we played in the house all the time, da-da-da. And so they were like, y'all are here for Easter? And we're like, yeah, we're just like at this hotel. And they were like, well, y'all got to come over and have Easter with us.
Aw.
I was like,
so great.
what? And like at that point, like FGO was like really in the limelight. Like it was a lot for like me. Like I was like, this is a lot of extra attention. And so her inviting, like them being so open and inviting us to their house, like kind of like helped crack a little bit of rigidness that was happening in me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, they're just invited us strangers into their home. So anyways, we go to their home. And a really trippy part of this is I had just read Cameron Diaz's book like a week before that, her body book.
Oh,
You ever read that?
I haven't read it.
So good. She had just written this book with, I think it was like a scientist friend of hers, nutritionist. And I just read her book. And then I'm like a week later, like having Easter with her. And she's like filleting this fish that she like has in her book that I just read. I'm like, this is so random. But she was lovely. They had us like literally Easter spread like
Was
on
Nicole
their
there?
They weren't. They were supposed to walk down because the Madden brothers, I guess, were like freaking out that like FGL was at their house,
That's
which is so funny because
hilarious.
we're like, what are we doing here?
Right.
And but they say, yeah, we play at the house all the time, and
'Cause
like
you were
I know that's what
She's
they
one
kept
of
saying.
us.
I know, but yeah, no, they were supposed to walk down, but no, we just had it with their family, and Cameron was so lovely, like showed us her room and her closet, and like
Aw.
they had
that is so cute. That makes me so happy because honestly, like I remember when she met Benji, and I just was like, I love you for this. Like there was just
their chemistry was really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh, you're that girl. Because I mean, just they're cool. They're all tatted up. They're
Yeah.
like, and I just love that's who Cameron ended up with.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, oh, you finally found your like real person.
That's what she was telling us because we
Yeah.
were kind of telling her our story, and she was like, "That's exactly how I felt," and like
Yes.
it took a minute to find that person,
I
and
feel
like
because I was always really rooting for her for that.
yeah,
And I've never met her, but I just think it's that
she was adult.
relationship.
Like my first DVD was The Sweetest Thing. Remember that movie,
Oh
The
my gosh,
Sweetest Thing?
yes.
So like I was like little girl
I
watching
know.
this, and I'm like Cameron Diaz. I'm like sitting at Cameron Diaz's house, like, and I left there, and she gave me her number. I was like, I left there, and I texted her, and I was like, thank you so much. Like you just broke down like a rigid wall that I had been building around my family, and like, I mean, Cameron Diaz is like these celebrity all celebrities. I'm like, and you just welcomed us into your home. Like, thank you. I was like, I just learned a really good lesson that I needed to learn. And I just thank you for that. She like sent me home with like, she was telling me about couscous. She like sent me home with a box of her couscous from her. Like so sweet.
Incredible.
And how great that she finds love. She then has her kids. Like she bailed the heck out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, she was kind of like saying that. She was like, we're so comfortable with just living life and like working in my garden and like, and it was inspiring on that level too. Cause at that point I was like, is life going to be like this all the time? Cause it's a lot.
It is a lot.
What does Jim Carrey say? It's like, get fame and have all the fame and the money in the world and realize it's not everything, you know?
Oh.
And it was like,
Definitely.
I just like learned like mega lessons there. And I was like,
yeah.
whew.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I think about all that all the time.
Yeah. It was a cool example to see from her. And then, yeah, she texted me back and was like, y'all are salt of the earth. Like, stay grounded, stay yourselves. And it was just really cool. It's cool that we've met people like that along the way. And really weird, like, to answer your question, like, that was a trippy encounter. Like, or even like the boys working with Nelly. Like, we call him Uncle Nelly. Like, he's sitting there telling us life advice, like financial advice. And it's cool to meet people like that. And you're like, they're real people. They're not just some characters in this fake world. Like, they are real people. They have real feelings. Like, usually these people are highly conscious and like know a lot about the world and the way the world works. Yeah. And like when they can share that with you, it's like refreshing to like, I feel like y'all are like that too. It's like when you can meet real people and have real connections.
That's what it is like real.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I'm like,
I feel like we find each other, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. And like those types of people, I know for me at least, like recognize real. Like I feel like you're one of those, like we can go 4 months without talking, but then like you can be like, yeah, come stay at the house. And then we like stay up and catch up. And like,
I know.
I do that with my best friends that I've known forever, even in high school. Like I won't talk for 3 months and literally we just do a FaceTime for 2 hours and catch up.
It's
And
the best thing ever.
when you can just recognize that and not take anything personal or be offended, it's like those are the
lifers.
those are the people.
Those are the lifers.
Those easy.
See you when I see you. Love you when I love you.
Just told me that I was easy to love.
Oh, he did.
That sounds like
that it was such the most simple thing.
Yeah.
And those are the friendships I love. Like people that are just easy to love and the
Make it
friendship
easy,
is
to be their friend. Yeah.
Like
sure.
those are the best. And that's how I am still with my high school friends.
Yeah.
Like we may not talk for a year. And then we get on the phone or FaceTime and I am right back in Kentucky. And when I am in Kentucky, it's the place I love most. Like just right where I grew up. My childhood I loved my childhood.
Yeah. No, it's like you have to just, and some friends, like especially like some of my younger friends are like, well, my friend ghosted me or this happened or this happened. We don't talk. And I'm like, true friendships should be easy. And if they're supposed to work, then you're going to be communicative and like move past. So like as you get older, it's so nice getting older, honestly, because it's just like, bam, I know it. I can filter it out. Yeah.
Me too.
I know. Same.
That was a lot of therapy with Dr. Amon.
Yeah.
That got me there.
Same.
Amazing.
Yeah. Only 13 years of therapy brought me to that point, but
here we are.
Here we are.
Okay, last one. I know you just did the epic collab with Mossy Oak, but is there anyone else in the fashion world that you're dying to collaborate with?
Honestly, there's not anybody that stands out. Like Mossy Oak was like huge for me. It took me a while to land that. Like it literally took me like 6 Zoom sessions with like 3 guys that are just like in the woods in Mississippi. Like there's such a mom and pop thing. Like,
wow.
So that was really big on it for me because it was a pattern. The other day though, I did think, is it Pendleton that has those? Pendleton would be pretty cool.
That would be very cool.
I love Pendleton.
That would be a cool one.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, I haven't really thought about it outside of that. Like I knew I wanted to collaborate with a camo brand, but from the beginning of the brand, I've always said, because like a lot of influencers and stuff too have been like, oh, I want a co-brand and this and that. And I've kind of stayed away from that. I'm like, I just want my core brand. And I don't know, Mossy Oak was like easy because they license their patterns, but they go through a really strict approval process. So it is like high quality and not everybody in the world can use it. Yeah. So. And
the pattern's amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
We've got like 2 other patterns that are eventually going to be out too. So we're going to have them as like our core basics.
It's so good.
People, I mean, it's so trendy too now. Like
I know.
We're in like LA and like you're just seeing someone with a cowboy hat on a little western.
I
love it.
I know. I have a couple like cowboy friends that live out west, and they were like literally like all these LA dudes rocking cowboy hats and everything is so ridiculous.
It's like
but
their
they're
Louis
like,
Vuitton
honestly,
collab, you know,
like it helps our industry. You
know,
know,
I know.
They're like, so we're gonna ride it while we can. Like,
yes, they should.
If cowboy's gonna be cool, then we're gonna milk it. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm like,
So
cowboy's
funny.
cool now versus it being redneck.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
so true.
I know.
It's like, okay, what does Lainey say? Country's cool again.
Yeah, country school again. Yeah,
Love
that's
it.
a great song.
I know.
And I said I was country when country.
She sure did. She sure
Give me
did.
some Barbra Streisand.
I love it.
So our favorite segment on the show is called Dear MT, and it's where the stoners call in or write in to ask Tizzle for her advice, for better or worse. So we do have one Dear MT for this week. There is no video, but I'm just gonna read it for us, and Brittney can answer too. Hey stoners, is that to us? Hey stoners. Okay, I guess I'm a stoner now too. Love you both so much. I've never been more excited to add a podcast to my weekly rotation before yours. My question is this. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 5 years. He's my best friend. I love him so much and feel so lucky every day. We aren't engaged yet, but I know it's coming soon. The problem is, I really do not want to change my last name when we get married. I'm from an Italian-American family from New York and New Jersey, and I love my Italian last name so much. It makes me feel connected to my family and my ancestors, and I've just always felt it was unique and pretty. I mentioned it to my boyfriend a couple years ago that I didn't want to change it, and he got a little upset. But we quickly moved on from the convo and have not talked about it since. I'm worried about hurting his feelings and even more so offending his family. One of his aunts didn't change her last name, and I have heard his family express judgment about it. I'm not even a big marriage person to begin with, but I know I want to spend the rest of my life with him. I just don't want to lose what feels like my entire identity in the process. What do you guys think?
Whoa.
Love always, Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
Well, I was just someone who was really excited about taking my husband's last
Me
name.
too.
Like, I literally
You
would
guys
like.
are so fucking crazy.
I would literally in like middle school would be like, I would like look through the guys, like whether I liked them or not. I'm like, Britt. Harrison.
No.
I'm like, no, that's not right. That's not gonna look good on my monogram. Like, but I can identify with her wanting to keep her identity.
Yeah.
But I know like my husband's dad was like, you're not gonna hyphenate your name because he knew I was a strong woman,
Yeah.
like wanting to build my career and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And like in the South, that's
Yeah.
a little progressive.
Yep.
And so he literally was like, you're not gonna hyphenate your last name, are you? And I hadn't even been thinking about it, but I like it made me laugh. I was like, no, sir. I was like, I'm taking Kelley.
Aw.
And so I don't know, just for me personally, I think do what you want, but I've seen a lot of people move their last name to their middle name.
That's what I did.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
So, because Molly was like, I mean, I really
Oh
don't
boy.
even.
Oh boy.
One can of worms, please.
Strike it up, Tish.
I fucking don't even. I
You had Ash right there.
I'm getting heated.
I know. I can see it.
But anyway, but Molly was like, "Mommy, you cannot not have my last name." I mean, she was like, "Until and whatever."
Yeah.
She was like, "You better not." And I was like, "Well, what if I do this? What if it's Tish Cyrus Purcell?"
Yeah.
And at first she was like, and then she was like, "Yes, I get it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I would want to do that too." So,
Yeah.
so, and plus, I am not responding to dumb people, but like people are like all the time, like, "Why do you still have that part of your name? You
Just
just want to be."
Simple reply. It's my
I'm-
stage name.
And I'm just like, and it's none of
Seriously.
your damn business.
And really
Yeah.
it isn't.
And so, first of all, that's reason is Molly was like, "You are not going to be Cyrus at all
Right.
with me."
And just
until
move
me.
it into the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I moved it into the middle.
Yeah, so that's good advice for
But
her.
I am a proud person.
Yeah. I love that.
Shout it from
You
the
need like a shirt that
mountaintops.
says that.
Proud percent.
I'm getting it. I'm getting the trucker hat.
That's too
You
good.
need it.
Patty, Etsy.
Merch team, get on that.
I love it. Oh my god.
Send the samples
good.
tomorrow.
I am serious.
Okay, so would that be your suggestion for? We always do this. She gets on a tangent and forgets to give advice to the stoner.
Oh,
geez,
So
I did
what we were
forget.
telling Jessica, are we saying like hyphenate or move to the middle name? Is that the advice?
I mean, I feel like that is a really good compromise.
I do too.
But I don't know that she's feeling that.
I know.
She needs to just pray on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She needs to pray on it.
Yeah.
But I do agree. I think like hyphenating or like moving it to your middle name is a good compromise.
Yeah.
And that way you get both. My thing would just be like, I'm sorry. I have some girlfriends that are getting married next year and their boyfriend's last names are
Just like
tough.
Smith.
And like, if it sounds good with my name, I'm kind of down.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But if it
that's-
doesn't,
It's gotta have a good aesthetic.
yeah,
you know?
it's gotta have a good aesthetic.
That would suck.
The initials have to stay good.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's a lot of things to
Yeah.
consider, you know?
I just say, just move it to the middle.
Yeah.
Don't piss any family off.
Yeah.
You still get your way, and then you can write it out like that.
That's what I think.
Put it in your profile, all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
That's good advice.
I love that.
Great. Well, that was just so fun. I knew that was going to be a fun episode. Stoners, if you want to find out more about Brittney, shop Tribe Kelley. Tell them where they can find all your stuff.
Yeah, I'm on the socials,
all
all the standard ones. It's my name, Brittney Kelley. And then Tribe Kelley. So you can find us there.
You have a little shopping.
Sign up for our text tribe. Our stuff does sell out really quick. It's like small batch, like I said. So we have a little text number that you can find, and you can sign up for that and shop an hour early. And we come out with this collection April 18th, and then another one in the summer.
So exciting!
Yeah.
I love that it's small.
Yeah, it makes it special too, and it's like not everybody has it.
Well, and I think when you make limited quantities, then people buy it more because they know it's going to sell out. It's really a really smart business plan, to be honest, because the more exclusive you make something, the more people want it.
Yeah. And we do really try to measure our audience correctly. Like we try to make just enough for everyone who wants it. Like we've already noticed that this pattern is going to sell out. So we've already put in for a restock, but we just don't overproduce.
Right.
Because that's where it gets really wasteful.
Right.
Not only financially, but just it's a lot of waste extra in the world. And so we try to get really precise about that.
Love it.
Which makes it fun because you got to rush to the website and get it.
Exactly.
I know. It's good. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. Stoners, if you haven't already, you freaking better, but subscribe on YouTube, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and share the show with your friends. Thanks, Brittney.
Thank y'all for having me.
Bye. Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation and Hopetown Entertainment.